Honestly, if I was going to pick a Pringles, it'd probably be sour cream and onion.
That's a good one. Not everybody likes sour cream and onion.
I like salt and vinegar.
That's
I
nice
like
too.
salt and vinegar as well.
Yeah. Some are like crowd favorites.
It took me a while to get there. You know, like when I was a kid, I was like, this is disgusting. Yeah. And then all of a sudden,
it was like, wait.
Senior in high school, I was like I have taste. Yeah, I have taste now. This is a refined palate. Yeah.
I love pain.
Have you guys ever tried vinegar?
Welcome to the coaches group chat.
Someone get her more sugar.
I think this girl needs an Almond Joy stat.
Yes, coconut. Let's go.
Should we get into our docket? We got a full docket today, and week 4 has provided some very interesting turns of events, and we have a huge week. This is actually one of the weeks I circled on my calendar.
So
of like, we got some good matchups here in this one. But do you want to start? Because I know you don't want to leave the AVCA poll ever out of our weekly discussion. Would you like to start there?
Yeah. Ariel Houlihan rankings from memory. Ready, go. Number 1, Long Beach. Number 2, not Long Beach.
Still Irvine. Yeah, there you go.
Number 3, UCLA. Number 4, Hawaii. Number 5, BYU.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, USC. Number 7, Loyola. Number 8, Ball State. Number 9, Stanford. Number 10, Pepperdine.
Mm-hmm.
I got the top 10.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Guys, for those of you at home, that it was actually pretty impressive for Ariel right there.
First time the charm.
I was not reading that off of a piece of paper. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. She's got dyslexia, so normally like keeping things in order.
So many things wrong with me. But the fact that I can name those in a row, that is wild.
Yes.
I'm a savant.
That's what I've always heard. I mean, yeah.
When you met me, you were like, yep, savant.
Yeah, well, I had heard the rumors, and Sav was definitely one of them.
This girl's
Yeah,
definitely a genius.
Mm-hmm.
Can we just stop having coaches rank it?
I know.
Can
like,
we just go media?
Who would be better? Yeah, just have the media out there.
Yeah.
Give me the keys. Let me do the rankings.
I mean, at this point, we're not the media, but
We
like,
are. No, we're definitely the media.
Who's a group of people, though, not the media? Because media poll is like...
I just want people who like
We're
watch
just
volleyball.
we're just your drunk uncles. That's all we are. You know,
All right.
we're just drunk uncles out here talking volleyball.
Let's have all the volunteer assistant coaches rank it.
Ooh.
They watch a lot.
They're not allowed.
They're not.
They're not even
They're
legal.
somewhat biased.
Yeah, but like a little bit. But like, I mean, what do you mean they're not allowed? If the coaches are ranking it, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
I just want someone who watches a
No,
lot of volley.
volunteer assistants aren't allowed. That's
Okay.
like
Either way,
literally
like we said, I just make it public. Like whatever the coach, if it's the coaches voting, great. But they need to put their names to it rather than this laziness.
Yeah, what's this secret society of voting?
Apparently, if you're a member of something within the AVCA, you get to see that. That's the rumor I've heard.
Really?
I'm a member of the
I'm a
AVCA.
member.
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
I looked. So I want to know what secret society I'm missing out on and how I get involved. Like, what do I need to sacrifice
talking
something?
in a microphone on a podcast, and they'll be like, "Fine, we'll let you in."
No, it's definitely an animal sacrifice that needs to be done.
Yeah, skull and bones for sure.
Okay, let me just have my gripes real quick with the national poll. My number one gripe is that UC Santa Barbara went to Grand Canyon, beat Grand Canyon in 3 straight
Swept,
sets,
yep.
and then lost in 5. They don't move at all, and Grand Canyon doesn't move at all. Like that's just laziness on my eyes. We got to make some switches there. Santa Barbara's got to rise. Grand Canyon's got to fall back. Something's got to give there. That's one. Beyond that, not going to lie, I thought CSUN was going to drop back a little bit after their loss to both UCLA and USC. But I guess because those two teams are ranked pretty high, they're leaving them as is.
Where are they at?
Took a set.
They're
took a
16th. Yeah, they're ranked 16. So it's not like they're super high. But
How do you feel about that?
Still, give me an underdog. We all knew CSUN's not going undefeated this year. Kidding me?
Yeah,
But they're taking someone out.
take a couple early lumps.
Yeah,
you know,
they're
get them in the postseason.
They're taking someone out at a very inopportune time for somebody. I got no fear.
I'm pretty sure they smoked. I think they swept USC. I think the box score was wrong. I know they did lose to UCLA, but that was in 4. It was in 4 both, right?
It was in 4 for both. Yeah, the UCLA game. I watched that one. Man, UCLA looked good. They looked pissed. They were not happy about that Ohio State loss, and they were absolutely bullying CSUN.
They were not good for a little bit. And then Rama and Robinson and Rowan. I think it starts with Rowan.
Yeah.
must be something.
Well,
with
Cam
ours,
Thorne.
but
Cam Thorne was
They
also
need to come
like,
up with like
very
a
efficient.
Rama Robinson
Yeah,
Rowan
the
triple R.
Oh yeah,
something.
we could brand
there.
that. We could brand that for him. We'll workshop that.
It's like triple espresso, but
Yeah,
tall white kids.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. Lanky white kids
Yeah.
with ours. We'll get there.
row your boats. Boys in the boat rowing.
Redwood trees.
I know
don't
that. I know Sproul likes that book.
Okay.
Come on now.
Sprou's not
True.
there anymore.
Yeah, I know, but it's.
But he's the puppet master.
It's in the water.
He's basically controlling everything at this point.
Great movie. Anyway,
We'll riff on that.
that's
R.
okay. You can
So-
retire that one.
Moral of the story there: not much changes in the AVCA poll there. You know, not a lot of ups, not a lot of downs. Even though there probably should have been a little bit of flip flops. I think.
It's got to be the highest ranking for Irvine in a while, right?
I don't know.
Define a while.
I
mean,
don't remember them cracking the top 2. They've been 3 at highest last year, maybe.
Yeah, I mean they've been,
But like they
legit.
haven't been 1 or 2.
No, because there's been legitimate like juggernaut number ones ahead of them, and now they're kind of having their time. So
I mean,
I'm
they
just saying
looked.
this is the most highly rated that Irvine's been in a while.
Did you guys
Yeah.
watch BYU?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Irvine looked really good.
they did. Hillier didn't look so good in night 1, and that's why it went 5. But yeah, night 2 was real good. Flexen looks great on the right side. Micah Goss, the freshman middle blocker.
Yeah, he's good.
Just kind of
From
like
Santa
step
Barbara?
closing.
Yeah.
like,
Where'd you come
I
from?
never saw this kid once at all. I have no idea where this kid
That's
played.
Yeah.
the NIF magic. You just pick
Yeah.
kids out of the forest and boom.
Yeah,
Here's
and
some 6'8" guy who flies.
6'8" guy who was
Jetting
absolutely
people.
Yeah.
physical. Yeah.
I mean, he had a couple back-to-back balls where he's just like, I don't know, like
Yeah.
pits over the net. I'm like, oh, this guy's a freshman. Holy
Yeah,
crap!
he was good job, Nif. That was a good find by you. Good
Yeah.
work.
Jesus.
Good work, my guy. But yeah, that was a good weekend. I thought. I mean, Irvine kind of had it in 4 sets, and BYU snatched one away
Yeah,
there at the
for
very
sure.
end and forced that 5th. And honestly, Keone ripped 2 aces right to start. I was like, oh, BYU was taking this.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were able to.
It was a good game.
They weathered the storm.
great.
They weathered the storm, and it looked good.
Feeling good about my natty champ.
Hey, yeah, they
saying.
look good. And they are making their way up to Stanford this week. And we'll get into that at the end. But some of the recurring themes we're seeing across all these top teams, we get some high-level international talent across the board of Long Beach State, UC Irvine, UCLA, Hawaii. Everyone's got something. And so I did a little post this week. Did you guys see this post?
No.
Probably not.
Yeah, you guys.
Are you well followed?
Bobby? Don't be snorting over there, right?
Our producer.
I know. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not a big follow.
It was too easy.
But I did a post
I'm really
about
glad you followed me on that one too. That was really nice.
rule changes.
Yeah.
I did a post. Can I introduce my idea of a rule change, and then we can see if you guys would have any additional rules you'd like to add into the NCAA landscape. But my rule change that I'd like to see is similar to the European, Russian, Japanese professional leagues, putting a cap on the amount of international players that you can have on the court at any one time. So
On the court or on the team
I
roster?
would say on the court, which I think does translate into the amount that coaches go after. But I'd say on the court, you can have 2, max of 2. You could do the roster, whatever you want to do, but when it comes down to it, I think there needs to be a
We
cap.
just capped the roster at 18.
Exactly why I want an international cap.
So why would you not cap it on the roster?
You could cap it on the roster. I don't really care. It's more about the idea of this is that the NCAA is the
Only
only
pipeline.
developmental
Yep.
pipeline we have for men's volleyball in the United States, and therefore it needs to be prioritized that American athletes are getting that opportunity that time. Now, I'm not saying
Okay,
to
can I
get rid
devil's
of,
advocate?
take the other side. Let's hear it.
What about schools like Ball State? Ball State, how many international kids do they have on that team? A good amount.
They got a Brazilian setter. They
Right.
got their outside hitter, I believe, I forget where he's from, but he's international. I'm not positive beyond that.
I don't know beyond that either, but I believe that they have a good amount of
Yep.
international kids. I would think at a school that is not a major UCLA, volleyball, whatever, volleyball powerhouse, you have to get creative in the way that you're doing things. And international has been a way for people to be creative and go and find talent and say, like, we can create something here.
Totally.
So it really hurts the teams that.
So the counterpoint I would put to that one is this: is by putting the cap on rosters at 18. Hopefully, what we will see is that you're going to get a spread of the wealth. Right? Long Beach State isn't going to have 32 kids on it. UCLA is not going to have 31 athletes on its roster. You're going to get a lot of those guys that are going to be looking elsewhere. So take an Austin Buchanan, for example, was at Hawaii for 4 years, never really played for them, but now is starting for Sacred Heart in Connecticut. So you're going to get guys who normally maybe wouldn't have looked at that school as an option, now are looking at those alternative options and are going to have a better chance for playing time, actually making an impact rather than just being a 4-year ride the bench type of guy. So because of that 18-man roster limit, I think that's why it's even more important to put a cap on the international side.
I agree with you. I was just playing devil's advocate for fun.
Well, the most important thing is that straw is way too big for that size
right?
of delivery.
And it doesn't have the spoon.
Bro.
It doesn't have the spoon either, Bobby. What are we doing?
I didn't ask for that.
You didn't do a special.
It's a lot of Reese's.
Chad, while I crack into these airheads, any rules that you would like to see added in to the NCAA or just volleyball in general?
No, I mean I like the international sub stuff. Right, where you can basically re-enter one time, so you eliminate the 6-2 and stuff like that. You get 6. I like the faster timeouts. They're trying to make the game go faster. I think your idea about the service errors is interesting. A little bit of a nuisance to track. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's because like we're talking to like ABCA with these guys who are more on the how do we get this in front of more eyeballs.
Yep.
Well, TV is the answer for that. Therefore, the game flow actually becomes the number one thing. So I love let's stop calling doubles and let's keep it loose and
Agreed. Love no doubles.
just
Less judgment calls.
Yeah, just no reason for this. What I think will be interesting is, does the game actually go farther into the beach side of like, hey, we don't love all the throws and all this kind of stuff. Hey, no open hand tips.
Yep.
Right? Because now instead of just being able to I don't like it, and you take it with 2 and you kind of just throw it at somebody. Well, I threw it fast. I threw it slow. No, he caught it right behind his head or whatever.
Yep.
Hey, look, he played it open hand. Can't do that.
Yep.
Hey, now if you want to recycle, you got to play off speed. You got to be better with your feet. You can't just reach outside your body and make these things happen. So I think that could be an interesting. I don't know if I'm 100% sold on it, but I think it's always in the back of my head of
On the attack is what you're saying.
yeah, just on the attack, right?
Just on the ball over net.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the hey, look, you
'Cause
can't
I don't
receive,
understand what the
serve
difference-
overhead or whatever. I don't
I don't
care
know what the
about that.
difference is between a set and a push. It's the same motion.
Well,
You mean from an offensive
well,
standpoint?
and
Yeah,
you see it a lot.
What's the difference between this motion and that motion?
Let's be totally fair, right? If you have a lot of beach, when I go out and set in these practices, it's deeper. You watch
Sure.
any of these SoCal guys, when they're setting high balls, they're catching and throwing. Mm-hmm. They're on the ball way longer than anybody who's holding it and throwing it.
and throwing it in the attack.
If you're just 1/1000 and a half, it's the same duration, but now it's on the second instead of the third touch. Hey, how about we just say if you're playing it over the net,
Yeah.
can't go open hand at all.
All right, let's go back. We'll go back to the next rule. We'll go back to the next ruling of my other thing that I brought up and did a post about was the idea of just how much missed serves there are in men's volleyball. Right, and so the idea I put out there was same idea as basketball. You foul out if you do 5 missed serves. Okay, so just generally speaking, trying to put an incentive on people to not go back and just rip and miss a ton of balls, which is not viewable for television. But the reason why everyone goes back and rips a bunch of serves is because if you don't get them off the net, they're going to score at such a high percentage that it's almost the same thing. Mm-hmm. So the risk reward is there for you just to go back and rip. Because if you can get one of your 2 serves as a point, that's huge. Mm-hmm. So if you can limit some of those offensive things that, again, is really hard to determine what's a throw, what's a lift, on these jams and these wipes and these out-of-system balls. If you get rid of that, then all of a sudden that equation becomes a little bit easier where you're like, all right, if I can get them off the net just a little bit, maybe it doesn't need to be fully out of system. I can score because we can set up our block. We can play defense around this. There's not as many options for them to score where I need to be worried about that jam throw. Like if he roll shots it, we can pick that up. We've got time. So as you start to maneuver that back a little bit and you kind of peel back the actual root cause of the issue, it's because men's volleyball is so efficient offensively. Mm-hmm. The other one.
I want a 2-point play.
Yeah.
I want a 2-point play.
But how do you work that in? Like, what would you do?
I haven't thought it through completely yet, but like
this is not the super point. This is an actual action is 2 points rather than be like referee.
Action 2-point
money
play.
ball.
Yeah.
Bring out the money ball.
I want an action 2-point play that at any point in time you can dramatically change the momentum of the game.
The other like root cause rule that I've heard that I do somewhat like, and we've heard about this multiple times, they almost did this internationally, was get rid of open hand receive, similar to beach.
Yeah.
Right. So you bring back, all right, if you can't use your hands, now all of a sudden float serves are much more enticing because it's harder to pass on the platform. So less missed serves because you can now score more off of your float serve if you get rid of that open hand serve receive. So that was one other thing that was floated and almost was tested internationally at the FIVB level for U19s, and then they backed out.
I'll be honest, I don't hate it, right? Because, I mean, you see some of these teams, right? I mean, SC has done this for years on the men's side. Pep has done this for years on the men's side.
Yeah, Pep's a long time.
Hey, just put your toes on the 10.
And chuck it.
And, and make them hit a really good ball that's going to land at 29, 30 feet. Otherwise, it's out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's how you solve that kind of stuff. But now you see the hybrid, right? So, hey, look, Micah Christensen, I'm going to toss it with spin. I hit it with float. I hit it with spin. You don't know. Hey, you guys stay deep. I float it on you, and I make you play it in your platform. Oh, you try and step up. I blast this thing.
Yep.
And it all of these things, it's just an arms race, right? It just one door closes, and it opens two others. And
2-point play.
But then you have the NBA is getting all the flack right now because everyone's just chucking up threes because of the arms race of how efficient can I be on a 3-pointer, and so you lose
that's
some of the
great.
physicality.
I want people to shoot from the half court. It's super fun to watch.
Well, NBA viewership numbers would disagree with you. People don't like it as much.
Make it 3 points and 4 points or something.
They've switched over to the WNBA. You're right.
Well, you keep workshopping on
digress.
what you would be the double point fixed volleyball.
I like Bobby throwing candy at us. I think that's a fun little new thing.
Little addition. My final question in the same vein as rules, but I think the whole point is trying to make volleyball more television friendly, and so like less stoppages, less, to be frank, stupid stoppages where it's like what am I watching?
Like the Pepperdine Long Beach game yesterday.
Oh my god. That poor down
2
official
days.
for Pepperdine was...
That's Olmsted, man.
I know, Olmsted
Yeah.
was... hey, nothing but respect. That guy's a legend. But man, oh man, he was going through it yesterday.
Going through it.
he was in a
He
tough
started
spot.
the game talking to...
Yeah, Nikolov got... The first point of the game, Nikolov got a roof and like kind of looked... He didn't chirp too bad, but it was like, roof staring that way, kind of says something and turns.
Who cares?
And then he is on Nikolov's ass immediately.
Tweet.
Turn the other way, turn the other way.
Relax.
So that kind of set the stage. And then he he got a challenge that he overruled the line judge on. And then Winder for Pepperdine was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, wait. And he went back and reviewed it again. And then he overturned himself.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
And said, no, actually, Pepperdine point. And so then Knipe is up.
like, what the hell is that?
Oh, man. Yeah. So everything, he kind of just lost control of that match in that moment. But yeah, when it comes down to it, we're just looking, how do you make this as TV friendly as possible? So for the layman's viewer, like getting rid of doubles, getting rid of judgment calls as best you can, where it's like gameplay doesn't stop. You get to just keep going and you incentivize the action. That's what we're looking for here with any rule change, with any adjustments.
I have different views than everybody about this stuff. I'm making it watchable. Like, create the WWE of volleyball and let them ride. Like, what are we doing?
Let people throw punches and just see what happens.
Let people go after it. Let people be fun. Let people make it fun again.
Yeah. Well, when it comes out, like the more eyeballs, the more money, the more sponsorship that comes in.
Ding, ding, ding.
which leads us nicely into the next piece. But like, there's some money getting involved with women's volleyball right now. Obviously,
holy hell.
we've seen the 4 professional leagues. We've seen the over $200+ million of investment there. But man, oh man, the transfer portal just closed, and some of the numbers for the NIL collective
College
deals
coaches can sleep easy tonight, knowing that the transfer portal is closed.
It's closed for now.
Yeah, for now.
But man, oh man, like
as they fundraise, for
there's
the next
some
month or two.
6-figure deals that were going down for women's volleyball this year.
Yeah, there were.
Chad, you got any thoughts on this new restructuring or new world that we're living in with the NIL recruiting and just the transfer portal in general?
I mean, it's chaos. It's, you know, of the college coaches we talked to at AVCA, you're just in it's a new sport. It's a new world. Like, it's, hey, last year I needed 50,000 to go get this kid or 70,000 to go get this kid. Now I need 170,000.
Yeah.
Now I need 275,000. I don't know what Torrey Stafford's getting to make that move, but I'm like, it's a lot. 300,
I think.
right? Like, I mean, that's not crazy in these times, right? And so, you know, even these rich schools that you would historically think would have this money, yeah, man, hey, I had 30 grand to do whatever, or I had 50 grand to do whatever. I don't have 250 grand to go get one kid. And so you're seeing some of these schools that have really deep pockets that are willing to invest in women's volleyball and try and put all their chips on the table as this thing frickin' skyrockets. I think investing now is going to pay off for a lot of these schools, even if that money dries up for them at that institution, just because it's going to put their program on the map, right?
Yeah.
Sam Erger, I think, has done probably the best job of this with SMU. But, man, it's a new game because
Yes, it
you
is.
are legitimately buying, for lack of a better phrase, professional athletes at this point.
Yeah. No, it's definitely professionalized. So your thought is, all right, maybe these numbers are a little inflated right now, and maybe these come back down to earth in 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it may be. Maybe it doesn't. Who knows, right? This is all still very much up in the air as things can change.
There's the rev share part of it, right?
Yeah.
And like how these schools allocate that money. This year, it's kind of like, hey, we have all this money, spend it.
Yeah.
And that's not how it's always going to be. But
But the schools that get
Yeah.
after it right now are going to set themselves up for even when that maybe these valuations come back down to earth in terms of what a top Division I women's volleyball player is worth. But the people who establish themselves now are going to reap the rewards for years to come. So you can have a total shuffling or reshifting of where the power centers of volleyball have been into different conferences, right? SMU is a great example, right? Not your traditional powerhouse, but in terms of NIL money, they seem to have struck oil in some capacity here.
welcome to the Dallas Cowboys.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, I think I feel like Dak is still the highest paid quarterback, I think, in the league right now, or on the richest contract. And it's like, it's not the best team, but if you want to go make a lot of money, you know, hey, like I'm going to Dallas, right? And yeah, I do hope these things kind of come back down to earth,
What?
or the professional money matches this kind of stuff, right? Because I mean, at the end of the day, I get what you're saying, right? I mean, like at the end of the day, more money in the sport is better for everybody, whether you are coaching or you're in the broadcast or you run an AI company or whatever it is. Like more and more money is great because, hey, this product that was $199 is now $299. Great. Well, like that's a problem that we'll happily accept. But as long as we're willing to accept the other side of it, which is it's the professionalism of collegiate athletics in a way that is, you know, football and basketball are, of course, years ahead on this. You know, there's a conversation of like, is this healthy for college kids? And in this case, I'm 90-10. Yeah, like go make some money, man. Like, you're bringing money to this institution. Go get paid. But at what point does this trickle down the same way that we've seen this with AAU basketball? And I'm sure this happens on the football side of, well, now are people jockeying to, hey, if I don't play for this club, I'm never going to make this big salary at the next level or whatever. Like, does the professionalism trickle down even farther, right? And is there a level of, at what point is that too much? I guess is maybe my question that I don't have an answer to.
Yeah.
So, thanks, Jackson.
We got some big theoretical questions over here.
More money is good.
I'm all for it. Shocker. I have a lot of thoughts on this. Would you like to know them?
Yes.
Spill it.
Number one, I think the players should unionize.
Why?
All go into the transfer portal together.
Ooh.
Drive up the market.
Ooh.
Well, wouldn't economics say that
Interesting.
as supply goes up, demand goes down, and therefore prices go down to match that?
Okay, we don't have all of the economics worked through yet. Just
First
the right
off,
players.
From a
my
macro
idea
pers-
was a good idea.
From a macro
So,
perspective, if all talent is
your
available,
turn's next. I think that is a hilarious idea of everybody jumping in the portal at the same time and then being like market of like.
Yeah, no, but actually, it's a really good point because it's these schools that have money but don't have the talent.
Correct.
Right. So if let's say that you're Texas and you're like, hey, look, we have some money. We've spent a little bit of money on players before. Holy crap, SMU's in our backyard and they're spending big oil money. Well, dang. Then in that case, yeah, obviously it does drive up the price and whatever they paid for Torrey Stafford, like, yeah, great. Maybe this helps these schools that want to be involved get involved and at the same time benefits the players of like, hey, now the market is just higher in general because more people come into the table with their checkbooks.
Yep.
Maybe that's a good problem. I don't know.
I also think that for what the kids have endured in collegiate sports, for it to get to this point where this is a player's world. This is for the players. This is a player's world. This is not a coach's world. These kids are the ones that are getting taken care of now. And for a very long time, specifically in women's volleyball, there's a lot of kids that weren't getting taken care of. And so I think it's kind of funny to watch all of the adults freak out about the money that's involved in this and how the landscape has changed. And the kids are like, we're just doing what is like, we're just trying to get paid. And it's just a game now. And so there's a part of me that's like, what is best for kids? Yes. And there's also a part of me that's like, haha, this is funny.
oh, don't get me wrong, I'm super happy not being a college coach right now, just watching it all unfold.
Yeah,
Be like,
100%.
not my problem, but this is fun.
Totally. Mhm. So I have a lot of thoughts on it, but like, I mean, my whole entire TikTok For You page this week was full of the trauma trend.
Yeah, a lot of volleyball trauma.
A lot of volleyball
that was
trauma
being
trend.
shared.
And with collegiate athletes and stuff that is awful. And so I kind of look at this and I'm like, yeah, they have the right to transfer. They have the right to go and find something else. And it shouldn't be what the rules used to be of just like, you have to lose a year of eligibility and you get slapped on the wrist and this bad connotation around you that like you're bad because you transferred. Like now it's like everybody transfers, everybody goes, and it
goes the same way for schools too, right? Like schools used to
Yeah.
have the problem where if you had multiple kids transfer, then everyone's like, "Ooh, what's wrong with that program?"
Yeah.
Now it's like
Everyone's
all those
transferring.
kids are getting
Yeah.
paid, so that's what that school doesn't have enough money, or they're putting their money elsewhere. So that whole dynamic has changed.
I definitely have split feelings on the whole thing, but I like more money being pumped into the sport. I like kids getting what they deserve. I usually side with the players on the way that I'm sure that the players are all like, yeah, pay me.
I wouldn't blame them. If I was in the same boat, I would be thinking,
Correct.
what's my worth? Where do I stand? He's getting paid what? I'm better than him. I want to be paid this much, right? Like
I think
I don't blame any athlete thinking that same way, and that's where it's just call it what it is. This is professional sports. You can say it's name, image, and likeness. It's not. It's what they can do on field, on court. That's how they're getting paid right now.
Yep.
It's all about what they can do in terms of wins and losses.
Are you? Maybe this is not the topic, but like are you worried about that 7th, 8th, 9th kid, right? Of hey man, I wanted to come to this university because I love the coach, I love the team. It feels like a family. I was sold on my recruiting trip. It's a great institution. Oh, I'm on a 1-year contract. And I'm making I'm the 9th guy, so I'm making $10K or something, whatever. Oh, I'm just gone the next year because my contract wasn't renewed, basically, right?
that was happening before anyways.
Yeah, but like not to this extent, right?
Yeah.
Because you could carry more than 18 kids. You could do
the
all
question
this kind
that
of stuff.
we're worried about them?
The 18 cap is a problem. I hate that. I think that is hurting sports, specifically men's volleyball, that we need more opportunity. I think that if coaches can handle bigger rosters, great, but that's their choice, not the NCAA that should be mandating how many kids you can have on the roster. I think that the 18 cap, I am so against.
Yeah, we're bouncing around between a couple subjects, but I mean, I wouldn't say I'm worried about the ninth guy, right? Like I wouldn't say I'm worried about it. It's just the marketplace, right? It's where do they stand? And everything is 1-year deals.
Yeah.
So sure, if that ninth player can get a starting spot and get 5x what they were making at the other place, and that's what their priority is, by all means, they can. That's just the world that we're in.
Yeah.
When it comes to men's volleyball on the 18-man limit, I definitely lean towards thinking it's going to be a negative, but I am interested to see how it plays out, right? Does this spread the talent out wider? Do we get a better parity amongst teams, or does the rich just stay rich and those other kids that wanted to go to a UCLA, a Santa Barbara, whatnot, just play club volleyball now, right? Like a lot of schools, like you take a Concordia Irvine, you take some of these private schools, they use men's volleyball as a revenue generating sport.
Yeah.
They pay 4.5 scholarships, and then they have 27 kids that are paying full boat tuition.
Yeah.
That volleyball is making the school money.
Pepperdine's not cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You look at Pepperdine's roster.
Yeah.
Pepperdine next year is going to have to cut so many kids. They had 24 kids on the bench.
There's going to be one fewer like physics class because they did get the revenue from men's volleyball, man.
Yeah.
Like they're going to have to start chopping some other stuff.
I really do think that there's a lot with NCAA landscape that is going to make changes and have movement with Trump in presidency here, and with the way that they handle the NCAA. I think that it's going to be something that everybody has their eyes on, because I do think that there's going to be some either government step in or some there's going to be some shifting here that happens.
I mean,
pretty
that's
soon.
how the NCAA started, was the government stepped in, right? So I'm sure
Yeah.
at some point we're going to have something that's going to be.
Yep.
We're going to go through a Supreme Court case or whatever it may be that's going to set kind of the standard of how we do things, or you're going to have a complete just restructuring of, hey, this is the for-profit NCAA and this is the back to the original roots, like non-profit amateur NCAA, and you get to opt into one or the other. But I don't know. That's a time that I'm happy that I am not a college coach having to deal with all of these shifting sands.
Honestly, though, just figure it out. Right?
Just
better.
fix it.
Yeah.
Like all of these things, it's yes, it's difficult and it's this changing landscape, but all of this stuff is, and there are rules that change and there are things that happen, and you have to figure it out. And yes, all the coaches are banding together being like, this is crazy. It's because all the players banded together years ago being like, this is crazy. We need to be able to make money off of this. Why is that not happening? That court case goes through, done. Now it's a complete explosion of what are we doing here? So I don't know. I think it's kind of funny.
The pendulum continues to swing back and forth. That's
Yep.
for sure. All right. Well, next up on the docket, we got some big matchups this week. Like I said earlier,
Didn't we talk about that? Oh no, we
no.
didn't.
We were saving it.
We've
This is
alluded to it.
we got-
we made
have-
everybody listen to us talk about women's sports. That's great.
Suckers. Got them.
we got big matchups. Let me start with this. This is the top matchup. So we're gonna lead with this. In my eyes, we got number 4 Hawaii traveling to Provo, Utah, to take on number 5 BYU.
Is that Friday and Saturday?
I'm not positive of the dates, but it's happening this week, and I can't wait to watch because
But we're going to UCI Stanford, so how are we
Yeah.
going to watch?
I'll have it on my phone.
Yeah.
We got the
Fine.
return. Here's my top storyline. Obviously, Keone v. Charlie. That's the top storyline in my eyes. Do
in
you
a
think,
duel?
do you think, did Keone make the choice because he thought, all right, I've done this enough. I don't want to be the serving sub anymore. It's time to move along. Or do you think that was a
I
conversation
don't like
that was
speculating about whatever.
I like speculating on this.
I don't mind speculating.
I don't like talking about people behind their backs.
We're not. Keone, you can listen to this. Charlie, you can listen to this. I'm talking to your face. I'm literally looking at you through the camera.
You
Okay,
can phone
fine.
in right now.
Yeah. Honestly,
you're probably
shoot me a DM. I'd love to know the answer to this.
You're
Tell me.
literally probably gaming with Mason right now.
Yeah.
Like literally in this moment.
I
No
gotta
problem.
think Keone's psyched for this game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I gotta
I'm
think,
psyched for this game.
Yeah. I gotta think if he thought he was gonna be the starter at Hawaii, he would have stayed. That's my thought. But who knows? We'll find out soon enough from a DM from Keone.
Maybe
sorry.
we'll have him on the pod.
Guest pod? Yeah. Open invitation for you, Keone.
You
Come
can
on.
stop here.
Come on in. We'll zoom you in.
My question is: Are we in the stand? Or are we?
No,
in
this
Provo?
is in Provo.
Oh, we're in Provo.
Yeah, this is in Provo. BYU has run the gauntlet. They just played 2 at UCI.
I
They
gotta think
play
BYU
Hawaii
hasn't
this
lost at
week.
home in a while, right?
I like BYU at home. Yeah,
I know. I like BYU at home too. Watching them play against Irvine, they had their moments. I think they've got some weaknesses for sure. But
Sea level to Provo, Utah.
yeah,
That's a lot of elevation.
that is.
So,
That's a big change.
All right.
It's a big change. Hawaii's young. I think it's going to be absolutely packed, obviously. So that's why, yes, we will be at the UCI Stanford game in
I'm
attendance.
going to
watching.
Provo.
We'll
You
be in
kidding me?
Utah. We'll be in Utah in spirit.
Yeah.
Some of us physically, maybe. We'll see.
So
I'm going.
I got to think Hawaii fans
Just kidding. I'm going to Stanford UCI.
love Keone though.
I think so.
I think they still got to love that guy.
I mean,
right?
that guy's done nothing but good things for UH.
Yeah.
I mean,
He was like
he was their serving spec for
he was
3
like
years.
everybody was like, yay. when he
Yeah, I
went in.
mean, well, how many Hawaiians does Hawaii typically have on their roster? Usually it's like 3 or 4, but like
Yeah.
maybe one of them starts.
yeah.
Right, it's kind of the same boat now. I think their libero is the only one who's like a true starter.
Yeah, it's not usually like a ton of kids.
I know Kainoa's gotten a little bit of time on the right side. They got Justin Todd in the middle, who he's from Texas but transferred to Hawaii for his senior year of high school.
I'm familiar. Yeah.
So we don't count that as a Hawaii
Yeah.
local. God, please don't cancel me, Hawaii fans. Do you count that? Like, you tell me. Do you count
Whatever.
that?
Only 7 people watch this. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
So yeah, I'm stoked for that one.
All right, what's next? What do we got?
Next up, UCI Stanford. Number 2
Huge.
UCI returns. Cameron
I'm
Costi
excited.
is
Who's going?
making the trip
To fight his father.
to take down his dad.
Yes.
Burnham Pavilion on Friday, Maples Pavilion on Saturday.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Finally.
We got some big matchups. I mean, obviously UCI is legit. We've seen a little bit of up and down.
It's also
Stanford-
Hallie's birthday on Friday,
It's also-
and
we are
we've
also
convinced her
celebrating.
to go to the Stanford game for her birthday.
Obviously. Where else would she even want to go?
Obviously.
Well, yeah, we're going to the patio. She did request to go to the patio.
Great.
so
I'm sure Peter's going to be there. It's not an issue.
she wants.
Oh, tell Peter to come. That's a good idea. I'm going to tell Peter to come right now.
Do you have any prediction for this Stanford versus UCI game?
I don't. I mean, I think they're probably going to be in 4. I think it's just. I like, honestly.
4
obviously,
sounds right.
I love the Stanford boys. I think Irvine's going to pull this one, but I think it's a great barometer for a young Stanford team.
Yeah.
Of just like, hey, like, where are we? What are the big rocks?
I could see our guys being like, "Oh, you want to throw the ball? Let's throw the ball."
Oh, they've
Like,
been doing this as long as Hannah has. They
like
can play that game.
They can play that game.
Well, we'll see. The more I watch Irvine, I'm like, wow, these guys are physical because Heno can throw the ball, but Heno can also go over the top of you.
Yeah.
Flexen can go over the top of you. Goss can act like you're not even there. I mean, it's just
Yeah, there was some swings he had. I was like, that was very Merrick McHenry vibes right there. Of like,
Yeah.
oh,
he's way up there.
that's a 1.5.
Yeah.
And you can't touch that.
Yeah.
Like, where do I put people? Do I have to block at 5 feet off the net to kind of get the
Jump
angles right?
backwards, yeah.
Literally. So
No, yeah, they definitely have some physicality. I think they're only, obviously Joe Carlos's block is a weakness for them.
Sure.
How do you
Do
attack
not
that?
talk badly about Joe Carlos. He sent me a very nice message on Instagram.
I'm not talking about. I think Joe Carlos would say the same thing about himself. Yeah, my block is not my strongest suit, but plays great defense, keeps the ball in play, runs a good offense. I'm not talking
just
about
making sure that's very clear
At all.
We don't slander Joe Carlos.
They did have to. UCI did have to make a couple switches at OH2. That was the one that there was a little bit of
Yeah.
weakness there. Not weakness per
Who's
se.
a Canadian
but
kid, right?
Started with the Canadian kid, and then they swapped to the freshman from Warren Sixpack from.
Oh yeah, is it from Warren?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's from Warren Sixpack.
Because that's the only club in New Jersey.
I just read his bio. It was Warren Sixpack, I believe.
No, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure we had a conversation, and you were like, "He's from New Jersey," and I was like, "From Warren Sixpack," and you were like, "I don't know, he's from New Jersey."
So Warren Sixpack.
Well, maybe, but either way, yeah, he brought in a freshman, and he actually closed out the 5-set match against BYU. So yeah, who did they bring at OH2?
Niff likes to keep everybody involved.
He does. He'll keep you on your toes.
Yep.
That's one thing about Niff that I do love.
They could have somebody randomly in there, and all of a sudden, Niff's
you,
throwing somebody in.
You think you're going to see Heno and Flexen in the national championship? Just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
These
Never
schooler guys you've
mind.
never seen.
Yeah.
Flexing in the middle.
Yeah,
Benched.
exactly.
Serving sub Heno, yeah.
Yes. Well, yeah. I
Some
mean,
crazy
they got their other massive dude, Darcy, the Australian kid,
Yeah.
on the bench
Yeah.
right now too. Like, I'm sure he could.
Well, he was playing on the right last year, right? So,
Yeah, he was on the right last year. They were switch blocking him into the middle against UCLA.
Niff loves a transitional middle
Give me a middle
that can set.
and a setter that can play middle.
Yeah.
Max
Come
Grigor.
on.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm waiting to see Costi in the middle. I'm like,
Yeah.
when is Cameron going to make his
Yeah,
debut?
for
I'm just
sure.
like, that guy can Yahtzee at 2.
It's like an initiation at Irvine.
It's basically-
you have to also be able to play middle.
I think if you don't hit a 1.5 on your recruiting visit, they're
You're
probably
out.
not
Yeah.
seriously considering you.
100%.
I did crack a joke to Niff last year when Cameron committed to Irvine. I was like, all right, UCI versus Stanford National Championship 2025. And Niff's
go.
response was, if that happens, I'm starting Cameron Costi, and John Costi is going to need to make some serious life decisions about his priorities. We'll see where his true loyalty lies.
I can't wait.
Yeah. No, that's going to be a good one. But we do have one other good matchup I'm looking forward to.
Is it CSUN?
It's not CSUN.
Okay.
It is Loyola traveling to Pepperdine. So this is Loyola's kind of first
little West Coast action.
first
All right.
major test. Pep obviously went to 5 with Long Beach. That was their first real test. So that's going to be a nice one. We got, I think, Loyola's at 7, Pep's at 10. So we'll see. We'll see how kind of that shakes up. Obviously, your guys' MIVA favorite. We've seen Ohio State. We've seen Ball State.
You watched the Pepperdine Long Beach game?
I watched snippets and then I watched the 5th.
Not to slander Pepperdine, but the entire time I was watching the game, I was like, "Who is Pepperdine? Like, who are these people?"
Great question.
And I still can't answer it. I'm like, "What's who?"
Yeah, new faces for them for sure.
Yeah.
They brought in. They had a Cuban outside who came in.
Oh yeah, that
about
was
halfway
wild.
through.
Yeah.
They got obviously their freshman opposite from Sports Performance, who's like 6'11".
Who they called the #1 recruit in the country, which
He's top 5.
Sean Kelly is probably the #1 recruit in the country, but okay,
But
sure.
he's a big boy, and he was holding his own. He looked good. They just some new faces for Pep. They had the UC San Diego setters now setting for them, so just some different looks. But yeah, I'm interested to see how that matchup shakes out. And I think that'll kind of be telling of how strong is the MIVA, how strong is the West Coast.
Yeah.
Specifically, kind of Pep,
Who
who's
does
probably in that
Loyola
3 to
come out
5
and
range.
play? They play Pep, and they've got to play somebody else.
I don't know who the other matchup is for them. I would guess another.
It's
LA
got to be
team.
somebody. Yeah.
What if
They
it's
play
CSUN?
UCLA.
If it's CSUN,
Are we going?
I would guess they play UCLA, right?
We're headed. I
I'm
don't
going
know.
to put money on them play UCLA this weekend.
That would make sense for this is probably Hawks' schedule, right? Like Hawks made this schedule. So with his UCLA ties, that wouldn't be a surprise. In which case, my going for the Ramblers, like you always root, you always bet on the coach's former team when the former team plays the
Do
coach.
you?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Really?
100%.
Wait, is that a well-known thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Why
just
have I
a
not
betting
thought about
fact.
that before?
They're playing Pepperdine and UC San Diego. So no UCLA again.
Shucks.
Good scheduling.
Hawks was like Hawks was like remove that game. No. Hawks knew. He was
Yeah,
a chess
that's smart.
player over there.
Trap game for sure.
That's it. Any life updates you guys would like to share with the audience?
Yes. Last night, I made a horrible decision. I got on Volley Talk for like 5 minutes. Not even. Not a good idea.
Why?
Bad idea.
Were you on the women's side? Or you on the men's side? What were you
I was on my side. I was on my page.
Oh, okay.
Dedicated to me.
There's no
Not cool.
There's no
like-
need for that.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, wait, why did I just do that?
Yeah, that was a bad call. I told you the second you pulled up Volley Talk, I was like,
Why
yeah,
did
don't
I
go
do
there.
that? What was it? Oh, we were coming up with some brand stuff, and I think that we Googled my
You
name.
search your name, and then there
Yeah.
was like a Ariel Houlihan Reddit. And then
And I was like, I'm on Reddit?
And then
No
it-
way.
but then
And
it
then it
links-
was like, no, it's Volley Talk.
it links
and
to
then,
Volley Talk.
And then I was like, oh. And then I just like looked at it, and then
it was a car crash, and you couldn't look away.
then it was a car crash, and I couldn't look away. And I was like, oh my gosh, I know why I never get on this stupid site.
So if you post on Volley Talk, she will see it. Keep going.
No.
Give us
I'm,
more.
I'm off
It's like
that.
a month later.
Yeah.
It'll be delayed, but it'll be worth it. Post anyway.
Please, everybody who hates me, just go to Volley Talk so that I don't see it anymore. Yeah, gross people. Sorry. Disgusting.
Yeah, it wasn't great comments.
Like what?
Someone said something about your dad in there.
Yeah,
and
I was like,
oh man,
get out of here. Like, yeah, people need to get a life. Get a life. That's my comment to anybody who.
that's your current event.
Nah, I mean, I've got way more current events than that. That just happened last night.
My current event goes out to Jackson. Jackson
has pneumonia.
Jackson's got pneumonia, guys. This dog, look at him over here sleeping. The dude's got pneumonia. I thought we were gonna lose him this week.
Okay, well, he didn't eat breakfast one morning, and we were like, "That's it, he's gone."
Yeah.
Like,
I drove him to the doctors, which he literally loves his
our vet. Yeah.
He pees himself with excitement every time we go to the vet. That's how much he loves it. Yeah, I was driving down and I had on like some nice country music. I was like, oh man, he's got cancer. I'm gonna lose my dog. He doesn't. He got
has
pneumonia. He's chilling. $1,000 later.
We picked him up at 4.
Jackson's got 2 weeks worth of
antibiotics.
and
And now he farts more.
oh yeah, you know why he farts? Because he eats chicken and rice right now. That's his.
I
food.
thought
That's
it was
his
like
food.
antibiotics or
Yeah.
something.
No, and maybe it's the antibiotics, but yeah, chicken and rice. So he actually does love chicken. That's just like straight up. It's just boiled chicken, and the dude, he's going crazy for it. So Jackson's alive.
He's eating.
I'm not
he's
sad.
fine. Everything's good.
Chad, how about you?
I went to the dentist today,
Oh,
and then I got a haircut.
Do you have pneumonia?
No, I'm fine on the pneumonia front. I got this airhead that I am looking forward to. That's about it.
All right. Anything else?
thank you for watching our episode. If you got all the way here, thanks
You a
to
real
the
one.
6 people that got all the way
Comment,
here.
like, subscribe. Thanks,
Comment
Mom.
only nice things, please. And that's all.
And if you want to get Hallie anything for her 5th birthday, bring
Yeah.
it to the Stanford game
Yeah.
on Friday.
Yeah, that's cute.
Or Lacey for her.
Or Lacey.
25th
Oh, and Lacey's
birthday.
birthday's on
Slash Bobby.
Saturday too.
Bobby's 5th birthday is also on Saturday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, y'all.
Happy birthday, everybody.